Welcome everyone, Costin here with my guide / let's play for Morathi of the Dark Elves to get her going, get her early game sorted out, and to create a vast and powerful empire. Now I'm going to toggle the fog of war to go over her initial situation. She can colonize frozen lands, temperate islands, and not really much else in point of fact, which obviously limits her expansion options. So obviously you can take all of this territory. Oh, she can also colonize the chaotic wasteland, which does give her certain advantages. She does have a minor faction of Dark Elves that she starts a war with, who also interestingly enough hold Iron Spike. But if I take Iron Spike, that will give me the opportunity to take it for myself and be able to then sell it to the Skaven. Because there is a Skaven faction with whom she actually starts very close to that will give me certain opportunities of diplomacy. Then there's Clan Caron, and then there's the Dracula Coven, with whom the Sisters of Twilight start at war with. I'm probably going to want to take out the Sisters of Twilight. Now, early game moves, I'm going to want to get the Halls of Mustering so I can get a Master and also get Dark Shards, which she holds as recruitment choice. I will also want to pick up probably Founded on Tyranny first for that extra growth. There is a small and rather insignificant army over here that I will deal with at the start. I do get 2 units of Shades, 2 units of Dread Spirits, 1 unit of Demonists of Slaanesh, 2 Witch Elves, Morathi herself, and a Canine Assassin. Now, that's called a Pyrrhic Victory, though it's mainly because of that Manticore, though there are also 2 units. There's, of course, the enemy hero and a unit of Dark Shard, so this should be easy enough to tackle. So over here on the battlefield, I will deploy my Shades a bit behind, though of course I can do hit and run attacks with them against the enemy. I am going to try and keep my Witch Elves and my Demonettes in reserve so they don't take too much damage. I don't really care about the Dread Spears and how much damage they take, however. So let's get this fight going. Morathi herself is a pretty powerful combatant. Okay.
Dread Spears! Nagarothi! Dread Spears! Glorious destruction! Massacre them! Attack!
It will be.
And now, with all of those guys engaged, we're gonna send the Witch Elves.
Yes!
Destroy everything!
Dealers in death! Shades!
Axenu!
Move!
To engage, to try and engage the enemy line. Pull those back. Pull her back, rather. Because she is certainly taking a heck of a lot of damage there, right there.
Of course! Slaughter!
And send the Demonettes inside over there.
Skilled murderesses!
Atsenlu! Make them dance!
Alright, so the Witch Elves are going to smash right in the back there. Demonettes are going to hit them over there.
On the move! Witch Elves!
Dread Spears!
Pain is a gift!
They're a bit of a glass cannon unit, all things considered.
Morathi! Fury of Nagaroth! Matriarch! Maid! Death awaits!
Let's try and kill it. And there we go. Victory. Okay, so in the aftermath of the battle, I am going to go with Enslave for the army replenishment and to get a bit of slaves as well. I'm at 160 right now. For Morathi, I am going to pick up Root Marcher, and we're gonna go for the Petrified Forest.
You are sure I am victorious.
That is a bit of
Morathi
an annoying
commands you.
situation,
Fight.
having to fight that battle manually over there, or risk losing a bunch of extra men.
For glory.
But there is something you can do, and some people are gonna dislike this, but you already know I'm gonna win this battle. Minimal losses. So one of the things you can do is, if you want to avoid having to fight a lot of these annoying, pointless, irrelevant battles, just go to battle difficulty, set it to easy, auto-resolve it. In this case, I'm going to loot and occupy because I don't care about rebellion.
Is it time? I watch from the shadows.
And now I saved 3 minutes of my life not having to go through the loading screens. Though, bear in mind, I actually took more damage by auto-resolving this battle like that than I would have if I had fought it manually. So there are certainly downsides to what I just did there. Either way, that is a victory. And it is just a way to save yourself some time, really. Some people are not going to consider it genuine, say, oh, you're not. They're going to say, oh, you're not playing on Legendary by cheating like that. To which I reply, well, Legendary is about giving the AI various bonuses in a battle. Which, the problem is, though, the auto-resolve situation doesn't reflect reality in any way, shape, or form. Because, realistically speaking, I would go into that battle and win it without breaking a sweat. By the way, this minor faction of Dark Elves, they don't have an army. One of the reasons Morathi becomes so powerful when played by the AI is she has no genuine opposition. Now, it is an interesting situation what I can do over here. So I can take Tor over there, and I think I will. Let's see if we cannot resolve this.
No.
Again, if I fight this manually, no losses whatsoever, but honestly, I'm at the point where I'm not even going to pretend that this battle is worth anything, or that this represents any reality whatsoever. So I'm just going to take this element, just going to occupy it here. I don't necessarily want to get a rebellion, and then set the battle difficulty back to very hard. Bear in mind, if you mess around with the difficulty there, in that respect, if you leave it on easy in particular, you're gonna affect the behavior. Is that not going to affect shades, interestingly enough? You are going to affect... Okay, so that affects shades. You are going to affect the behavior of the AI if you forget before you click the enter to set it back to very hard. Anyway, Dance of Death. And repair it. Alright, let's see what diplomatic options do exist. The Dracula Coven.
Slanesh is delighted with our affair.
I'm tempted to make that agreement with Nakari. Get Nakari as an ally. Though then again, having control over all of Ulthuan directly might be an actually better choice. Either way, another turn ends. And now I'm going to take Iron Spike and give it to the Skaven. Maybe in exchange for a military alliance or what have you. One of the things I do want to avoid in this particular campaign is ending up in a war with Hexoatl. Because the territory that Hexoatl does control is territory that I just don't want, it's jungle territory. And if I can make an alliance with the Skaven, at least a defensive alliance, then that can obviously prevent some unpleasantness coming my way.
I must taste eternal taster.
Maybe I should have gotten that military access agreement.
Fury. To arms, Druki. What was theirs is mine. Phoenix Queen.
Now over here, I do want the production of wine, but what I really want to get my hands on is the slave pens. I'm also going to recruit another lord over here to be able... so I have several choices. Obviously the choices will be randomized. Weapon strength all units in army. What about the Supreme Sorceress? What do we get? Dark Magic, Lore of Death, Lore of Shadows. I think I'm going to pick this one for that extra income
Morathi.
from sacking settlements.
I will hear you.
You have warpstone, yes, yes? Lovely, lovely warpstone.
And I can get a defensive alliance with these guys right now.
Yes, so. If all goes as foreseen, but
Limitless power. Be quick. What?
Gonna get Chief Master. And also going to get melee defense elusive for him so that his survivability is going to increase.
Observe. Observe glory.
So now, I have no rivals, really, no opposition in the nearby vicinity. With the exception of course, Hexoatl. Though, here's the thing, I can also deal with it by taking the Fallen Gates and then selling them,
Dreadlord of Nagara.
selling them to
What now?
the Lizardmen
Lord of the Black Court.
in exchange for peace, of course. Going to upgrade the Torse element.
I am the first sorceress.
You are a tiresome thing. Should I kill you?
They're going to
Your
try and build
desire?
up an army.
hunger for souls. If all goes
Let's get a trade agreement with Makari.
Master of what?
I only deal bother.
Now, the Skaven might end up in a war with several factions.
Cease your provocations.
And by taking the Fallen Gates, Hexoatl should hopefully deal with the Keeper of Secrets over there. That starts with an army of Slaanesh over there. And by dealing with this particular settlement and giving it to Hexoatl, I might be able to at least get a non-aggression pact. The reason that's especially relevant is because getting a non-aggression pact with Hexoatl means that they first have to end it before declaring war on me, and they generally won't declare war on you the moment they break it. It's all about understanding and what makes the AI tick. Now over here, I'm going to get battle as business.
I watch from the shadows.
Although, in this case, I think I'm going to go to Hexoatl. Oh, and I already have a non-aggression pact. Okay.
we seek common cause.
I can get a trade agreement. Getting a trade agreement with them will increase
Sorceress. Dark deed.
the chances that I do have.
Fear the dark.
Lord of Fear.
Okay, I'm...
Revenge awaits. What's theirs is mine.
And instead, I'm going to get more troops. I'm going to keep that barracks over there.
Enchanting beauty.
Dreadlord of Nagara. Taking
And get more
control.
dark shards over here as well. Public order should
Venerian
stabilize in
bride.
just a moment.
Hag sorceress.
Get more in scavenge for more post-battle loot. Like, once you get to a critical mass of units, you'll be able to auto-resolve a significant amount of battles throughout the entire campaign with minimal losses. I'm also reminded that I should probably recruit a master from one of my settlements. Now, with this situation sorted out, there are multiple paths
Cain wills.
I can follow.
Restless malice.
One of the things I can do is take out the Sisters of Twilight. The reason taking out the Sisters of Twilight will be very beneficial is
The Great Ones had other plans.
well, I guess that is a way of viewing things. The Skaven Dark Elven Lizardman Alliance.
So long as you remember.
Felso, what could you possibly
That is
have
a
to
bit
offer
of
me?
an amusing situation, I gotta admit.
Of course.
The boss.
Fate. Command me, noble of Nagaroth.
A vile plan.
Now, I do want to get
Speak. Hag sorceress of Grond.
I do want to get at least one master. I don't necessarily need two.
Druki.
First sorceress. I am Morathi.
I'm also not too keen on the Demonettes of Slaanesh. The reason is, the reason behind that is, although they can do a decent amount of damage, I don't necessarily think
I
they're
watch from the shadows.
worth the significant cost that I'm gonna be paying in terms of upkeep for them.
The Sunder.
Witch Elves are a bit of a different discussion, because they're actually better units in a lot of ways.
Dread Ruth.
Though right now it's just about the economy. I would rather get Dark Shards with shields than worry about Demonettes of Slaanesh. Dark Shards with shields,
I have a great
a
many
significant
things to
army
say
of
to
them will be able to do a significant amount of damage there. Now, Hexoatl is on its own, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not interested in getting involved in their wars, though I might have to deal with Skeggy. Though it is a bit of a silly campaign situation, I gotta admit, making a defensive alliance with Hexoatl. But it does secure my southern flank. The issue is the Skaven might end up declaring war against Hexoatl, though they're quite as likely to declare war against the Tomb Kings, against Katep. Or they might declare war
Mother
against the
of
Sisters
the
of Twilight,
Naturally.
which wouldn't necessarily be a disaster as far as I'm
Murderous
concerned.
lord. Noble born.
And so, he has served his purpose for the time being.
Is it time?
And I think I'm going to dismantle one of these guys.
Speak.
I have much to show. I've skills
Get some
to
training done
show.
there.
Druki nobility.
Just
Speak. I would enjoy killing you. What now?
Well, you may try and kill Morathi. That would be enough growth. Control 20. I do have enough slaves for it. So let's go for it. To improve the control situation in my territory. I'm going to sack this particular settlement. And one of the things to mention with dot resolve is if you attack an army outside of settlement, you're going to get better odds in dot resolve than if you attack the settlement. This is because settlements still have a significant benefit when it comes to dot resolve, even if they don't have walls. Even if they're not a minor settlement layout, these aren't.
I'm disinclined to listen, but I must.
They will still have a fairly substantial benefit. Now, over here you can see that the AI does have a full stack of troops here, but it doesn't matter. In the slightest. Because they're just a bunch of dread spears. Now, this is a fight I'm going to play, but when? Alright, so once again, in this particular layout, I'm going to deploy the shades in a forward position, deploy the dark shards behind, get the bleak swords and the spearmen, the dread spears. Now they do have a shield there. Let's try and kill their leader. She might be lobbing a couple of fireballs, but it won't really matter. Try and get another shot. There we go. Shades are great at assassinating enemy heroes. Or enemy lords, in this particular case. I move the master there. Okay, gonna slow it down. Target their enemy dark shards and start using some abilities. Morathi is a bit vulnerable right now. She does need some armor.
My revenge comes. A dark harbinger.
Don't underestimate her.
Agreed.
Nagarothi! Understood! Shades!
Our sorcery is majestic.
Slaughter them! Druki! Dark shards!
Now, it would have been better to be able to be in a position where I could have out-resolved this battle. That's one of the benefits of attacking an army outside of a settlement when you can win without resolve. Because it will eliminate the army inside the settlement completely, whereas here, it will not, unfortunately.
Merciless warriors!
And those dark shards are something else.
Kill! Die, weaklings!
Let's target them with everything we have. Our melee line can...
Dark shards! Destroy! Nagarothi! Murder awaits! Death! My blade hungers!
Forward.
Murder them!
At my command.
Dark shards, on to slaughter. Kill everything.
Attack!
Okay, we're gonna trigger our own.
Cold-blooded killers.
I've had that happen before. Just a bit of an odd situation.
Tag sorceress. Come with me.
Alright, our damage has increased by a substantial amount.
By Cain!
No survivors. Onward.
Druki! Terror and death!
Target the blob.
One's doom. Vengeance. Feel my fury.
Dealers in death!
Dark shards, without question.
Blood will flow!
Alright, they're breaking.
Witch elves.
Orders understood. Massacre them! The merciless host!
Glorious dark magic!
What the? That's so bizarre. Alright, try and exterminate as many of them as possible. Alright, victory. And I'm going to get all these slaves. Another tangible benefit in attacking an army outside of the settlement is that you get 2 chances for post-battle loot. Now over here I'm going to save up to get her skills unlocked at level 12. What do we have here? Assassination, base weapon damage, fear. Let's go with ability Black Lotus. Let's go with fear. I prefer having fear. As for the master, right here, training in indomitable will.
I am the first sorcerer. For the Witch King.
It's probably a level 1 settlement.
You wouldn't dare!
All is possible.
Going to get this to a higher level, and I'm going to get Slave Pen so I can unlock a Black Arc. Which is something I'm going to need for my invasion of Ulthuan.
I watch from the shadows.
Alright, and then also going to get this to a higher level and repair this.
Mother of the Druki.
Over here, we're going to demand highborn hostages for the extra public order. And I'm also going to increase this assassin's level of elusive.
A timely arrival.
Now, I would rather avoid getting entangled in anything in Skeggi. Hexoatl will deal with the situation here, and they will tackle the issue of Skeggi. We can also get... I have... How many do I have right now? Okay.
The mother
is going to take a single turn. I would rather get the Black Arc than get the extra casualty replenishment. Besides, it's going to take a while, a bit, to march on the Moonshard. The reason I want the Black Arc is I want to start getting Black Arc Corsairs. And also the Black Arc will allow me to recruit a bunch of units inside of it and maintain those units for far lower upkeep. Though, of course, the slave cost is not necessarily pleasant. Now, the Moonshard is probably not going to be very heavily defended right here.
The mother of the Druki.
Not interested. I don't want to piss off Katep by making a deal with those orcs. So it's better to avoid getting entangled in that situation at this particular moment. Okay, let's get that Black Arc.
I watch from the shadows. Hag sorceress of Grond.
Now, I could...
Mother of the Druki.
I waited long enough.
go the short
I am
way around,
Morathi.
which is
Your
via
will
the
be
sea.
done.
I could even potentially take... Well, I probably wouldn't be
Fly,
able to take the Moon
Patriot.
Shard right this very turn.
Tyrant of Nagaroth.
Now over here, I want to get 20% income from sacking settlements, because we do live based on sacking settlements.
I watch from the shadows.
For him, we're gonna get Noble Born, although that isn't necessarily too important, so instead I'll actually get Hard to Hit for him.
Black Heart.
And I'm going to start getting a bunch of Black Ark Corsairs to boost my forces there.
Be quick.
Blood.
Duck.
Rebellions shouldn't be too much of an issue, although I do need some money right now.
Druki
Would be welcome to have a bit. Not interested in provoking Skeggi, and Hexoatl should be able to tackle them. Hexoatl generally becomes one of the more powerful factions in the actual game, because once they eliminate, they do have a harsh start, but once they eliminate their initial foes, they will end up in a much better position, be able to exploit the weaker enemies they have. Like, they can take, like, Hexoatl can take, like, what, 4 provinces without too much opposition, and they're direct south, because there's only minor factions surrounding them. There's, like, Skeggi is a harsh fight,
Noble
undeniably so.
I approve of these dark deeds.
Let's see what we get here.
Sail, damn you!
Okay, so they've got...
Mother of the Druki. How scheming.
Alright, let's get some replenishment in foreign territory.
Fear my malice.
And you only get to talk 'cause
Limitless.
you only get to talk.
Alright, let's get the non-aggression
Yes.
pact. So public order should really stabilize in this situation. I mean, I'm losing 8 because of the difficulty level. Do I have 5 because of my faction? Or rather, I have 5 because I have Slaaneshi corruption. You gotta love Morathi. She's the true Slaaneshi faction, the best Slaaneshi faction, because she gets the significant economic benefit that Slaanesh does have, but also has some really powerful units, because the Dark Elven roster is pretty good, at least for the campaign. For multiplayer, I think the Dark Elves are not necessarily the strongest faction in the world. Either way, we are going to attack the Moon Shard, and we are going to take it. Hopefully without too much resistance. But we'll find out what kind of level of resistance we can expect from the Dark Elves over here. Arnheim should be taken without too much trouble.
Dread Lord of the Druki.
Immediately. Show no mercy.
Interesting that they are still in... Oh, that's unpleasant. Interesting that they're still in...
A vile plan.
Okay. Maintain the blockade over there.
Annihilate them!
Alright, I will not lose any units, so why not?
To the vengeful slaughter.
We'll retrieve it from your corpse!
With haste.
You will never be safe.
I am the first sorceress.
Yes? We have a deal. Such slaughter awaits. I admire your darkness.
Interesting.
A vile plan. Druki Lord.
Interesting that he will not be able to
Beg for your life.
replenish.
Fear my malice.
Words have the power to wound. Displease me.
Very well.
They'll be wiped out.
Unrestrained.
Noble born.
Let's see if we can get the vassal.
I will wear your skin as a cloak.
That would be a decent amount of money, I admit.
Tyrant of Nagaroth.
Now I do want to upgrade that Black Arc. It is a bit of a shame that...
Black-hearted Dreadlord.
Well, I could move them over
We
here.
have a deal. The ocean awaits.
Yep. And get some Black Arc Corsairs.
Sorcerer.
Now Morathi doesn't buff Black Arc Corsairs. She doesn't really buff...
To the weak.
I mean, she does buff Shades and Dark Riders in melee, which is kind of pointless in a lot of ways. But I'll go over the skill choices once I actually get over there. So we have Insidious, campaign movement range 5%. Is an interesting decision that I'll have to make with regards to Morathi. Get that control, get that hard to hit. Over here, get the main settlement to level 3, and we're gonna start getting some income over here, because we do need it.
The very air is tainted.
Now, I could cancel, I could get rid of this building here, but that wouldn't necessarily
Hag
add me
sorceress of Grog.
anything at the moment. We do need income. We do need income buildings, specifically.
I am Morathi.
So, Arnheim is
Pain
level
wills it.
2. It is a port,
is
so it
this
can't be
foolishness?
blockaded via the sea. What I'm going to do is start advancing towards it and also get more and more Black Arc Corsair units. Eventually, the Black Arc Corsair units are going to form my melee line. And eventually, as I get the ability to recruit Shades, I am going to replace the Dark Shards in Morathi's army, give those to another lord, with all of that, put together, I will be able to get multiple armies going. It seems that they got wiped out pretty hard.
Hag sorceress.
Interesting.
Lord of the Black Court. Anchors away. Dreadlord of Nagaroth. Set the sails.
Yes, they did get wiped
Such
out.
slaughter awaits.
So that
I
in
am
turn
the first sorceress.
allows me to take Arnheim.
Phoenix Queen.
Well,
Morathi
thank the
commands you
Beastmen.
to fight. What's theirs is mine.
Count your lucky stars, I guess.
Hag sorceress of Grog. Is it time?
Why not?
I am Morathi.
Actually,
I watch
over
from the
here,
shadows.
instead of recruiting for the Black Arc, I'm going
Mother
to
of
recruit for Morathi herself.
Dreadlord of the Druki.
Get that to a higher level.
Tyrant.
The court of Nagaroth is a dangerous...
Malevolent Lord.
Hag sorceress of Grog. The power is mine.
By the way, those beastmen that just so nicely helped me out over there, they're next on the menu. Get more in training. I do need a sorcerer's building, but I'm going to get it over here once I get this to tier 3.
what? I have a great many things to see to. So
Alright, it seems that he wants my help. He can deal with that on his own. Now, I'm not too interested in going to Ulthuan right now, because if I go to Ulthuan right now, I'll have to fight Noctilus and then fight Tyrion. It's probably better to actually wait until Noctilus and Nakari have weakened Tyrion, and then Tyrion turned around and spanked both Nakari and Noctilus. And then take advantage of the situation to take all of Ulthuan for myself. That's exactly the kind of plan that Nakari would, the kind of plan that Morathi would actually follow. Okay, so we've recruited a sorceress. We've gotten an amulet, that's all well and good.
Lord of Fear.
Now I do want the forest for myself.
Mother of the Druki.
Feared by all. I approve of these dark deeds. Tyrant of Nagaroth.
Over here, I'm going to get income from sacking settlements. Even though I would like to get it, yeah, I think it's probably best to wait until I can get it to tier 2.
Destruction awaits.
Very fortunate there.
Those are outside.
They might raise it to the ground, which would not be in my interest.
Morathi.
Yeah, I think...
Pillage and plunder. Hatred.
I think
drives
this is the
me.
best I can do right here. Move into a position. And we'll see what the beastmen end up doing. I do want to go north, but I don't necessarily want to go too far north right now. But I do want to take out the Sisters of Twilight. The reason I want to take out the Sisters of Twilight is their little tree can give you a significant amount of income. Especially from sacking the tree itself. And
I
I
grow
certainly have
impatient
the
at these
army
constant
capable of
interruptions.
doing that. The Sisters of Twilight, though, are a hard fight. So I'll probably need multiple armies to do it.
Slaughter calls us.
Well, that is an unfortunate turn of events.
I watch from the shadows. I am Morathi. Revenge awaits.
You will pay with your life.
Fear
No, I'm
the
certainly not
dark.
going to run out of money anytime soon.
Man the
It just means I'll
garrisons.
have to rebuild those settlements from scratch. Which is not a great point.
I admire your darkness. Plotting a course. Vicious Dreadlord.
Sorceress of Nagaroth. Let them
Try and block this army.
Success.
Okay.
They've come to beg.
Flotilla.
Fear my malice. Lord of the Black Court.
All very unfortunate,
I am
everything
the
considered.
first sorceress.
Okay, so she's level 12. We can either get a hero crew rank for K-Knight Assassin's campaign movement range and benefits to Shades and melee, or we can get Tenacious, which gives us more post-battle loot, casualty replenishment, diplomatic relations, Slaneshi corruption. Ooh, that's a lot of a... So those are the choices. I think 30% upkeep right now. Like, I think while 5% campaign movement range is not certainly anything to sneeze at, I think 30% upkeep for her army and minus 50% attrition, it's more substantial from my perspective. And we're also going to get hard to hit.
Black-hearted dreadlord.
And I'm going to recruit over here and start getting some troops to try and push back the beastmen. We're still at an economic benefit. While that 30% upkeep may not seem so substantial at the moment, it will be substantial when you can get Hydras and maybe dragons for Morathi's army.
What can Morathi do for the cold-blooded warriors today?
Well, I guess I am going to have to take Skeggi to renew my alliance with Hexoatl, if I want that alliance to actually survive at the moment. Maybe the Skaven will actually prove their worth. It might be an idea to consider the fact that getting an alliance with both the Skaven and the Lizardmen is a really difficult proposition, all things considered.
Death and carnage await.
Relations may be strained with yours.
Druki Queen.
So we're gonna take the fortress there.
Your words are nothing. Destroy them all. For the Witch King. Bewitching fury.
Tyrant of Nagaroth. With haste. We have a deal. Dreadlord of the Druki. Dry land. Sail, damn you! Double time. Murderous lord. Dreadlord of the Druki.
You called? I can feel their power.
No stopping me.
I'll be honest, I don't care about the Witch Elves.
Thieves and usurpers.
Mother of the Druki.
Well, they are decent enough units.
Ours now.
It's just not worth the effort to keep them in the army. They'll take a lot more damage. There's just some units that are good, but they take so much damage on auto-resolve that they're not worth the effort of maintaining them.
Lord of Fear. Malevolent Lord.
Now, let's see what we got here. That shouldn't be too harsh of a fight. And then we get driven by vengeance.
A vile plan.
Druki conjure. Relics, come forth.
Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
Tribal fury.
Now, an alternative, of course, is you can make an alliance with Skeggi against Hexoatl, which might work a lot better than trying to make a Lizardman alliance. At the same time, just bear in mind Hexoatl has a lot more potential than Skeggi does. It is my hope that they don't take that particular settlement, because that would actually suck in a lot of ways. By the way, with all of that sorted out, I will take Morafi's army and start
Morathi will
marching
hear your insignificant plight.
potentially against the Sisters of Twilight. Well, they took the Petrified Forest. Unfortunate.
Black-hearted dreadlord, cruel and deadly.
You will march.
Now I have to march to recover it. Do still have a decent amount of
Lord
slaves,
the Black
though.
Court.
Want to barter trade slaves, elf thing? I only take ones partially more. Yeah? What compels you to be...
Always ready for a headbutting contest.
What?
Dominate! No.
I lead.
Alright, we're going to upgrade this to...
Tyrant of Nagaroth. What now? Going ashore.
Guide us, Horned One.
The mother.
Very unfortunate. But I don't have time right now to worry about it all.
Tyrant.
Although, if I
Dread
do
Lord of
recruit
the
those
Druid.
units, I will suffer financially
Horned
by
One
quite a
watches me.
significant amount. It's always some Beastman faction, isn't it? Coming in to
What
ruin
is
your
dead
day.
should dead remain. Yet
And then there's the inevitable declaration of war from Katep.
Such slaughter awaits.
is it time? Such delights. I watch from the shadows. Morathi commands you. Fight.
And an easy out-resolve win.
The hags.
And slaves as well.
Morathi.
We are at the slave capacity. 2 turns.
Dreadlord. Lord of the Black Court.
I can
Striking out.
put all of these guys.
Noble born, I approve of these dark deeds. Black-hearted dreadlord.
And get all of these
Rest is
fellows
for the
to
weak.
start marching via the sea
Your will be done.
to land over here.
Ridiculous.
Restless man.
Point of fact, I'm actually going to send everything to try and take the Witchwood from
Yes.
the sisters. Hero capacity sorceresses.
What?
Might be good, actually, in the long term.
A vile corruption spreads.
The chances of rebellion are pretty low, all things considered.
Do not vex us further.
Okay, just a bit of money.
Speak.
Martial name of power. Physical resistance, or
Beautiful.
let's get some regeneration.
Deadly. Victorious.
I admire your darkness.
First.
And that way I'll have an army, a fleet, marching into position. I wonder what Noctilus is doing. Actually, I'm honestly wondering what the hell the High Elves are doing.
Let's do this.
They're gonna get wiped out. That is unavoidable.
For the mortuary cult.
Sometimes you just can't control how things are going to develop when it comes down to the decisions taken by the AI, or rather by a random
Enter
beastman
and
faction.
speak.
In all seriousness, I admittedly did not necessarily see this coming. Maybe I should have gotten a trade agreement. Ooh, there is Noctilus. That is a problem. Because I'm pretty sure he's more powerful than any army I currently have. If I can get them, I think I'll just send them into the Moon Shard. Both of them. So we end up fighting Noctilus, which in turn will benefit Tyrion, which will make him stronger. And then...
Get out of my sight. A senseless request.
Dreadlord of Nagaroth. Tyrant of Nagaroth. Anchors away. Dreadlord of the Druki. Fear my malice. Black-hearted.
I'll take it.
Draw your blades, we fight.
Because if I were to fight him manually, he would...
Dreadlord.
He would disengage.
Against the code.
Well, he did anyway.
Set the sails.
The vampiric factions have a tendency of doing
Lord
that,
of the
sadly
Black
enough.
Court. Cruel and deadly. What now?
Enchanting beauty. Ride Solopet.
Let's see if I can find...
Hate incarnate.
Druki Lord. Seeking victims.
Alright, now the Black Arcs themselves can actually attack coastal settlements. And that's certainly something I'm going to use to my advantage.
Corruption of the vilest sort. Feared by all.
Going to upgrade all of these settlements.
Malevolent Lord.
The sun.
And try and take the Witchwood with just
Dreadlord of
Morathi.
Nagaroth.
That may sound like a bit of a optimistic scenario, suffice to say. But it is perfectly doable. The Dark Elven army is formidable, and it's formidable from the perspective... Well, I expected it. Thing is, Skaven can be pretty good allies. And I might be able to trade some of the Hexoatl territory with them. I would have preferred not having this war, I admit. At the same time, we just play with the cards that we are given. And this is what I am currently given to play with, to deal with. Multiple wars on multiple fronts. I'll tackle all of that.
Morathi will listen to
It's fun time. Okay. We can get 8 control in all
A
provinces.
vile plan.
Master of Nagaroth.
The ocean awaits. Plotting a course. With haste.
Going to send them there.
Black-hearted dreadlord.
I don't have to hurry. I don't know why.
Lord of the Black
That's so
Court.
bizarre sometimes.
Dreadlord
Like, that's
Nagaroth.
not how it's supposed to happen, by the way. Regardless. So I won't be able to
Tyrant of
recruit units
Nagaroth.
this particular turn. Unfortunate.
Lord of Fear.
I am Morathi. Plots to enact. Don't hold back.
I have such plans for the destruction of your people.
Now, believe it or not, getting
Of course.
You ready? Count.
Feared by
getting some
all.
kind of agreement at the moment is actually in my interest. And now let's
What
go
do you
destroy the
seek?
Sisters of Twilight.
For glory. Feel my rage.
They do have quite a few units, don't they? Let's get exploit feuds.
Such slaughter awaits. Dreadlord of the Druki.
It's a bit unfortunate that they decide to
I
withdraw
am the
there.
first
If they do
sorceress.
attack, I will wipe them out. See, you can technically ally the Sisters of Twilight if you are playing as Morathi. The problem is that they're not particularly great allies because, well, the Wood Elves in general are very limited AI-wise in terms of how many armies they'll recruit. For whatever reason.
Tactical retreat.
Now, they're probably in an ambush stance or they've moved north. What I don't know if which one is it.
I watch from the shadows. As the grave. Revenge awaits. Take these wretches away. Fear the dark. All is possible.
You are not fit.
Watch it.
Power.
Take what's theirs.
Okay, I can get the
Whichever
trade agreement
woeful
with
deity
Skeggy.
you have my favor.
Cruel sorceress.
So that's one army eliminated.
We have a deal. Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
Going to recruit more units here. I am in no hurry to rush the objective.
What command? Setting sail.
Me, the Skaven, against the entire world.
Tyrant. Vicious Dreadlord. Dreadlord of the Druki. Yes? The garrison is mine.
Okay,
The
more
very
units to be
air
gained there.
is tainted.
So I've eliminated one of the armies that they do have available to them. We're gonna get a line breaker. I can always respec her, though that is certainly a mod, though it's one I would strongly recommend everyone have and use. Let's get Blade Master. So the sisters are probably going up north there. That means the Witchwood is relatively lightly defended. The Wood Elves are an absolute menace to deal with in an actual battle, but their AI decision-making, it leaves a lot to be desired. Though granted, they might feel very safe with their settlements.
To the vengeful slaughter.
And as I've said, wiping out the sisters
Make
of Twilight.
plain your ambition.
Now people, everyone's gonna gank up on me because I'm becoming an Omega level threat. I do have 2 entire armies in the economy to support those armies. And well.
Queen. If your words did.
Why am I not replenishing?
How scheming.
Now that's aerial.
With bitter ambition.
Gotta love that defeat rate that I just got there. 10% missile strength. That is lovely.
I admire your darkness.
Now one of the things I would want to get here is to get this to level 3. But that can wait a bit.
I approve of these dark deeds. Murderous lord. No. Dreadlord.
Oh,
It is
okay.
mine. Black-hearted Dreadlord. A vile plan. Laying in wait. Slaughter, finally! Tyrant. Druki Lord. Tyrant of Nagaroth. We have a deal. Advancing. Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
Going to get more units there.
Dreadlord of the Druki.
I kill for Cain. This is real military might.
Your vulgar manners.
It seems the High Elves have been losing a lot over there.
Hagged sorceress.
Now for Morathi, get Erding for her spells.
The Sunderer.
And get Counter Striker over here. Foe Seeker. Over on this side, just continuously upgrade here. Though one of the things I will want to do is start getting cultist gathering here to improve the public order. Got a lot of slaves too. Let's use that right. We're gonna burn the Witchwood to the ground.
Yes.
Now over here, my goal is to get the coastline.
The cursed deep. You mope.
Dark sauce.
You go.
It might have been a better deal to make an alliance with the factions opposing Hexoatl from the very beginning. However, it should be pointed out the Skaven do have 3 stacks that are arrayed against them. Though Katep is just going to ruin my plans by the looks of it. But I can take down Katep in a
What do you
direct
bring
fight.
before the hags?
Let's make an alliance with Nakari. See, Skaven, if you let the Skaven factions grow, the problem is Skaven tend to do poorly in auto-resolve because they are basically reliant on shitty slaves, right? We got more and more troops, so I would lose a couple of units here, but it wouldn't be a big deal at all. I'll take those odds in auto-resolve any single day. Because all the units I'm losing are not particularly relevant, and by auto-resolving them, I actually inflict significant losses on the enemy army. The Sisters of Twilight are not going to recover from the body blow I've just delivered. I just eliminated 2 entire stacks of their troops. Now, granted, if I had been forced in an actual fight there, it might have been a bit unpleasant. If I was fighting, but I wasn't, so who cares?
What? Black-hearted dreadlord. Such slaughter awaits. Dry land.
He's gonna fall back over here
now? Lord of the
to
Black
get a bit of
Court.
replenishment.
Cruel and deadly.
And I'm also going to want to get another right for another Black Arc.
What? To arms, Druki. Take everything, leave nothing. The mother. Claim this place.
Now, without the Witchwood, they're effectively finished.
Dark omens follow you hence.
Watch.
In
Ready to read. I shall hear you out, flotilla.
I am not at all interested in priestry right now with him. Lots of effects that Morathi can gain. But it is worth saying that with the exception of the early battles that I skipped by lowering the difficulty, that I was that I've been able to auto-resolve pretty much the vast majority of the battles in this campaign so far. Then there's of course Hexoatl coming to ruin my day, but it isn't a problem.
Phoenix Queen.
Stabilizing the situation
terror
will
to their
certainly take
enemies.
time, but I am not too concerned right here.
Tyrant of Nagaroth.
Now Hexoatl will not be able to attack this turn. None of the settlements that I do have.
I approve.
And
of
I
these
will
dark
be able to
deeds.
march. Let's get Chief Master. I will be able to move my army to counter any particularly aggressive
Yes.
move by them.
Feared by all.
And get another Master. Let's get tough for that extra
Master
armor.
Druki. Vicious dreadlord. Black-hearted.
So right now, let's get that military alliance with the Skaven.
Yes,
This military alliance is the most important thing to improve your campaign situation. Because, yes, you might end up fighting everyone, but look at this situation. Although they're slaves, they're starting to get some good units like warp fire throwers, warp grinders, all that kind of good stuff. And so eventually, and there's free stacks here, free full stacks of forfeits being built right here, and they're getting good units in this. These are not throwaway units.
with regret.
I will need to stabilize the situation with the exile against the exiles of the Heck, but Skaven are pretty crazy. The problem with Skaven factions is that when it's them against AI, they tend to die pretty quickly in a lot of those situations. But if you do give Skaven if you give a Skaven faction time to grow, if you give them territory, if you give them space, they will genuinely become some of the best, most reliable and powerful allies that you can imagine from an AI. And isn't that a particularly shocking turn of events? The Skaven are actually the best possible allies you could have in your entire campaign. I know, a very surprising and shocking turn of events. Now, I don't like this particular territory.
Dreadlord of the Druki. Nagaron!
Oh my god. Okay.
Beg for your life, wretch. For you are at the mercy of Noctilus.
I'll take the money. Just because I can't afford right now to hold on to Whitespeak.
Ends justify means.
So I'm gonna have to fall back over here. Retrieve my fleet
Black-hearted Dreadlord.
to Arnheim.
Tyrant of Nagaroth.
And try and hold this settlement.
Abhor weakness. My time, my talents.
Get this to level 3 so I can get the Death Hag.
I am Morathi, by my desires.
You dare to seek me?
You're gonna have the Witchwood. So Morathi is gonna be stuck dealing with Katep over here. And then turning around to deal with I have so much money, I don't even know what to do with it, I'll admit. Just a bit of a shocking turn of events. I could raise another army here, but there's no particular need at the moment. Let's just get these units.
Hag sorceress.
This is one of the things to mention about the Dark Elves. You can make a lot of money very quickly, but then you run into trouble by trying to maintain more armies than you actually can, just because you have a vast sum of money. It's better to save up the money and then use it to, you know, get settlements, all that kind of stuff. Now here, if I could take the Spire, well, Katep has made my plans for me. If I could take the Spire, I could then march with Morathi south, though I think it would probably be for the best if I eliminate the Sisters of Twilight, you know. I'm fighting a multi-front war over here. That's not necessarily going to end in the best possible way. That's, now, this is no way this is going to be a pleasant battle, I admit.
Lord of the Black Court.
But we could weaken.
I go. Noble born. I admire your darkness.
The forces arrayed against
plan.
us.
Sail, damn you! Fear my malice. Dreadlord of Nagaroth. Death!
We can weaken them. So this is not Mazda Mundi. So we can weaken these and then fall back. Right, so here is the battlefield. There is the enemy army. We got some reinforcements behind us. Gonna use my Dread Spears. We do have a repeater crossbow unit in the air, which is always a bit funny.
Forward.
So Hexatl has a bunch of Skin Cohorts and Saurus. Saurus are pretty dangerous.
By Drakira! Master Druki!
I do want the magic users to enter the fray over here.
Murder awaits! Carnage awaits! Onward! Show no mercy!
Alright, the Saurus warriors without shields are gonna get exterminated there.
Dealers in death! Druki Lord! Lord of fear! Yeah! Forward! Kill them!
Onwards to murder!
Behold the power of the arms! Slay them!
Slaughter them!
Okay.
Druki!
Druki! Druki!
Dread spears!
Where to? Cruel and deadly!
They're charging us!
Sorceress of Grond! Saruman!
Black-hearted lord! Who says?
Well, I doubt I can defeat this the entire force that Mazdamundi has over here. I am hopefully going to be able to weaken it sufficiently.
Dark elves! Destroy! Dark shards! Blood-drenched lord!
Oreo! Oreo! Oreo!
Slash! Kill! Striking out! Dealers in death!
Dark Sorceress! Black!
Attack! Eager for battle!
Dark shards! To destruction!
Right, the Dread Spears are holding their line there.
Ready. Dreadlord! Let's pull back! Wage war!
I'll also benefit from fighting multiple battles because then I'll be able to use more Black Arc abilities.
Dread spears!
Dark shards! Forward! For Nagara!
Sorceress of Grond!
The merciless host!
On to murder! Sorceress of Grond!
Death! Without question. Tyrant!
Dealers in death!
The merciless host! Advancing.
We are ready!
Dark Rider crossbows! Who says? Make them bleed!
Destruction awaits!
Dark elves! Tyrant of Nagaroth! End them! Advance! Druki! Behold the power.
Okay, more units. There's Mazdamundi. If we could take him out,
By your command!
that would be great.
Nagarothi! Back
Let's
a
pull
while!
them out.
No mercy! Will destroy all! Dreadlord! Tyrant of Nagaroth!
Dread spears! Onward! Death is coming!
Glorious destruction!
The merciless host! End them!
Dreadlord! Advancing!
Right, those units are falling back.
Blood shall flow!
Mazdamundi is a powerful tank after all.
Dark Rider crossbows! Dark shards.
Let's turn all of these guys around so we can take out Mazdamundi.
Great spears.
They'll hold their own there.
Horses. Battle ready.
Now I'm going to move all of those.
Death.
Oh, he's got that. Damn it.
Lord.
Advance, Druki! Druki! Die, weaklings!
Nagarothi. My blade hungers.
Let's try and take him out in melee.
Sorceress!
Dreadlord. Move. Blood shall flow.
Druki. Kill everything.
While Mazdamundi does have a lot of HP, he is still fundamentally a caster.
Sorceress of Grond! Seeking victims!
Dark shards.
As such, he is riding a large beast.
Onward.
Carnage awaits. Horses. Urafen. Scout them. Dealers in death. Hack these monsters down.
Master Druki.
I can.
Cruel and deadly. By Cain. Feared by all. Dark shards.
Dreadlord.
By your command.
Come on, nuke him, nuke him, nuke him.
We are ready.
Master Druki. Merciless warriors.
They'll take him out.
Withdraw. Die, weaklings.
Corsairs.
Forward. Moving out. Master Druki.
Slaughter them.
By Cain.
Pull back.
Noble boar. I live for murder. Advancing. On to destruction. Corsairs. Blood-drenched lord.
Eager for battle.
Dark elves. On to slaughter. Hack, cut. Battle ready. Dreadlord.
Even if he doesn't die, there we go.
Feared by all. Kill everything. Nagarothi.
Dark shards.
The damage I've done to him has been pretty severe.
Eager for battle. Battle
As
ready.
a result of this,
Forward.
Cold-blooded killers!
By Cain.
I'll be able to position my entire army. Reposition my entire army, rather. Did I lose a lord? Or a hero, rather. The army losses are gonna start soon kicking in, I hope. Alright, let's try and take him out. There we go. He's done. Yeah, that's a lot of Black Ark Corsairs. Here comes the remnants. We got some Temple Guards. Saurus Spears. We do outnumber them, and their morale is pretty shot up to hell. So even though Temple Guards are certainly higher tier than anything I currently have, Okay, let's pull these guys back. Without Mazdamundi to provide leadership, they're not going to be able to prevail in this field of battle, let's say. And this is why I like Black Heart Corsairs, because they are quite capable of taking on a lot of units. Punching way above their weight. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean I'll necessarily win here. Because there's still a lot of units, and I've spent a lot of my troops trying to deal with one. One force. There we go. By not controlling large armies, I put myself in a great position to completely annihilate Mazdamundi's 2 full stacks. Maybe he'll agree to a peace treaty right now. Though that wouldn't necessarily be in my favor at the moment. I do hope that sorceress survived. I think she did make it off the field of battle. So try and eliminate as many of them as possible. Saurus seem scary, and they're pretty decent, but the problem is they are not capable of doing burst damage. They're more of a stand-up melee unit, but this is with high armor, but this is where the Dark Elves really screw over a lot of powerful early game armies, like Warriors of Chaos and all that, because Dark Elves have incredibly good armor piercing from the very start.
Enslaved.
Black-hearted dreadlord. Tyrant of Nagaroth. Lord of the Black Court.
Disengaging.
Yes?
Attack! Slaughter calls us!
Release the weaklings.
Cruel and deadly. Black-hearted dreadlord. Plotting a course. Tyrant of Nagaroth.
to the weak.
Well, I do need more territory, and I do need more structures to be able to support more slaves at this particular time. I can also get the Death Hag. The Death Hag will provide replenishment, something that is very welcome. I'll also want to... I'll get 2 Death Hags, as well as a bunch of sorceresses, really. Well, one more sorceress. Morathi doesn't need a sorceress in her army, because she's already one herself. She can get vicious, death, beasts. The one thing you want to avoid is beasts, honestly. Dark is pretty good, though. I'm going to go with perceptive. I do like the chill wind. And now Morathi is in the position of taking out Katep.
Morathi commands you.
To put it mildly, there's no chance for Katep to win this battle. All I need to do is, like, if we look at the settlement layout, all I'll do is attack a particular section of the wall, force him out of there, and eliminate his units one by one.
For the witch king.
And with Katep eliminated here, then I'll be able to march and take the Spire, securing an early game victory. Also kind of foolish for the AI to declare war there, because Katep doing this has actually managed to screw himself over, because the orcs there are still alive, interestingly enough. Okay, Line Breaker.
Malevolent Lord.
Chief Master. So 10 turns until I can get another Black Arc. I'm tempted to just get rid of this to be able to afford more slaves. Magical reserves.
Noble born.
Get hard to hit.
Dreadlord of Nagaroth.
More in hard to hit. Okay. Now will give me a great deal of allegiance with the Skaven. And if I could even get an army from the Skaven by getting enough allegiance, then that is certainly something I could use in my favor.
Stink of command.
I am at 88.
Death High.
Okay, get all of this sorted out. And that's all there is for the early game as Morathi. I've stabilized, I've conquered a lot of territory, even if I lost those 2 settlements there, and I'll have to pay the Skaven to get them back. But the way I'm gonna pay them back is take some of the territory from Hexoatl, who have lost everything. Genuinely. No joke. It's like, they still have an army, but it's not gonna be sufficient to deal with me.
Dreadlord of the Druki.
And while I can't declare war on them for 9 more turns, I will be able to... Actually, I could take this army and march on Skeggy. Like, just give it a turn, then go to Great Point, march this army as well. Yeah. There are some choices over there. Black Arcs, Corsair units. And that's, by the way, how you maintain 3 stacks of troops as the Black Arc units, because of the lower upkeep. Like, right now, my income is nothing substantial. I could have done a lot better had I not lost the territories here. That's why it hurt so much. But I can take Skeggy from Hexoatl and then trade it to the Skaven, and then maybe get Tor in return. And as the Skaven get more and more territory, trade that as well. I can also trade the Plane of Dogs as I get it from Katep. But anyway, Costin here signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, enable notifications, and stay tuned for more.